Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. It's been a little while. I'm happy to be back. Thank you guys for your patience. I have a few selections coming out today, so stick around. This being the first one, I really want to just talk about really quick my history with the city of DC, or the District of Columbia. It started back in 2006 when I went there just to vacation for a few days in the summer, just to check it out, just to kind of take it all in. And I feel embarrassed. I still do because when I got off the plane and I started going to the through the airport to pick up, my luggage. I just remember seeing so many, people of African descent that I had to just stop for a second and just kind of take it all in because where I'm from, in Texas or whatnot, you know, the only time you would see of so many people of African descent would be like, at church or festival, uh, school, something of that nature. But to see so many people out and about, either travelers or, people working at the airport, like, you know, and I just had to stop and take it in. But, it was a beautiful thing in essence, Chocolate City, at least, you could probably say at that time, even though I think things are starting to change. Fast forward to 2007, I got an internship. I stayed at Howard University at Slow Hall. That was my first time experiencing gentrification. I really didn't understand the concept then. It really wasn't something on the radar. I'm still a young college kid or whatnot. But I remember it was a Friday night. And so that summer, the people who were, staying at the dormitory were students who were taking summer school and basically interns for the summer. You needed a place to stay. So, we were bonding, you met people from all across the country. It was really cool, you know what I mean? And so it's like Friday night and it's like past midnight. It's going on 1 o'clock in the morning. And, we're sitting outside, the hall, but they told us to make sure to stay close, that type of deal. They had security, of course. They had cameras. So we're basically right there at the door. We're just kind of sitting out, and I just remember it's like I said, close 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I see this young Anglo-Saxon lady, blonde young lady. She comes running, and she's just jogging. So she's exercising. There's no nefarious activity going on, and I'm like, whoa, like I'm a country boy from Texas, but I know that's not right. So essentially, I turn and I look and I'm talking to, a couple of the students and they're like, yeah, the homes around the university are being bought out, so it really didn't register, at that time. So, but in '07, I saw the good, the bad, the ugly. Um, unfortunately, I saw one individual using, you know, uh, drugs on the street, going to the metro, going to my internship, in the morning. I saw or heard of, I remember someone was found, dead just a few blocks close to Georgia Avenue, if I'm not mistaken, close to a church that summer. Um, but I also met and still have connections with some of the best people that that you could ever fathom, just special people. And, so it's the good, the bad, the ugly, and the in between. And you're going to have that in every major city, in every major city. Um, so fast forward to 2008. I do another internship my senior year of undergrad. Graduate. I stay at the towers this time around. Um, there's a McDonald's at this right up from the towers, right there on Georgia Avenue in the corner. And I remember my roommate, because we had roommates for the internship program that I was in, and I remember him saying that somebody had said, hey, do you want to buy a gun or whatnot? So there are those elements, but at the same time, it's like personally, I've been in moments where uh, I had to be very aware, keep my head on the swivel, but at the same time, I never had anything directly happen. Like I've never been robbed, I've never been hurt, anything like that while I was there. Now I had situations where I, you know, thought I was going to have to defend myself. But I've had that happen back home in my home state. You know what I mean? So it just comes with life, unfortunately. So but one of the things that I remember starting back from 2007 is, the city has a lot of history. So Marion Barry is probably the most famous politician, you know, uh, from DC, or, whatnot. And so one of the things that they talked about how people loved him, and even when the shortcomings were publicized and whatnot, he still got elected again after being the mayor to, I think it was Ward 8. You can double check that, but I believe it was Ward 8, but he still made the city council. And people loved him because of his civil rights background. People loved him because, he was a civil rights champion, because he made sure that people of color, their businesses, that they got representation at the table. You know what I mean? That they got contracts, that kids with his summer work program, that they got employment, that they were able to make money to stay out of trouble, to develop a work ethic. So that's why the people of DC loved him so much. And no matter what, shortcomings or those things of nature, like people saw him, for the overall of what he brought to the city, what he brought for the people. You know what I mean? So uh, he's always been held in high regard there for his work, his total body of work, um, not just one instance. You know what I mean? So 2008, 2009, I go back and I actually work for the same entity or organization that I interned for in '08 and whatnot. And DC just has a very special connection, for me. I've seen a little bit the start of the gentrification all the way to 2016, to where I went to school there for my advanced degree. And I remember coming up in 2016 on U Street and Georgia Avenue, and Fitbits were popular at that time. And you just see people jogging and walking. You see all this new construction, all this new development, and it's just different now. It's just different now, and I don't think you can call it Chocolate City anymore. If you go in and you look at the demographics, it's definitely not Chocolate City anymore. But I am just really disappointed that the city is being brought in the drama um, with this administration. And so again, it's a test run for expansion. Um, you had LA, now DC, Baltimore, get ready. New York City, get ready. Chicago, get ready. Philly, get ready. And we already know what the common theme is in the cities that he's selecting and that he's choosing. But the funny thing about this, though, is this: crime is going down in DC. Now, there's there are disputes as to how much crime is going down, but they do agree that crime is going down and has been going down. Um, and I just, I really have an issue uh, with that, to politicize this and to come in and basically just blow things up. And I've spoken to people on the ground, and while some are happy or whatnot, saying yeah, but they all come back to one thing though, and they say that they still think it's overreach, that it's very excessive, um, very excessive. So it's just my connection, to the city. And where was the National Guard on January the 6th? Where was the National Guard on January the 6th? But I'm going to do another video and expound on this. But it's good to be back. Happy Friday. Thank you guys so much. But shout out to DC. Shout out to Hollywood Barbershop. Shout out to, Rest Easy, Rest in Power, Mr. Wood, Delante, um, everybody. Just, yeah, it's a special place with a lot of cool people, man. With a lot of cool people. And I learned a lot in those years from interning and working there. So just keep your head on the swivel. Stay, just keep your head on the swivel. All right. See you guys in the next video.